Hello, and welcome to day one of the Monetization Bootcamp, Monetize Your Social Bootcamp. My name is Mandy Summers, and today we're going to be talking about the creator shift from content consumer to content cash flow. So I'm excited to help you get started on this amazing journey. And if you are someone who has a YouTube channel currently that you've been posting on consistently, I want you to put a 5 in the comments. If you're brand new and you're wanting to grow a YouTube channel, maybe you're wanting to grow your Instagram channel and you're wanting to learn how to monetize it, and that's why you're here today, I want you to put a 3 in the comments so we can see. Okay, it's so good. I've got some numbers coming in. It's super fun when we can see that and resonate with it. So I have some really fun stuff planned for this week. We're actually going to be live every single day at noon, Monday through Friday. I'm going to walk you through the exact process that I've been through to grow multiple YouTube channels and to help thousands of people learn how to grow an online business. So if you're excited, put a yes in the comments. And I see we've got some 5s and 3s coming in. Welcome everybody. I can see we got people trickling in. So it's super fun to have you here. Today, you've been showing up and posting and sharing and maybe trying. In fact, if you've posted for a business sense on any platform in 2025, will you put a 1 in the comments? And if you have not, because you've been nervous or like we're going to be going through this today, put a 0. But sometimes deep down, we begin wondering, when is this actually going to start working? Like, is this you? Yes, I see we got a ton of yeses coming in, right? Like, put a yes if you're like, yeah, I've been wondering, when is this going to start working? Well, this isn't just a boot camp. This week, this boot camp is your turning point. The Monetize Your Socials Bootcamp is here to help you stop spinning in circles and to start showing up with purpose, with power, and with profit, or for like getting profit, I guess I should say. So put a P if you're excited for that. I'm so excited to be here. This is the perfect boot camp for women and men who are tired of giving away your best energy to an algorithm that is not paying you back. Have you ever felt that where you're like, I am creating content. Why is it not sending me back what I'm hoping for? And this is the perfect boot camp for people who are ready to build a system that helps you reclaim your time and your energy. So over the next 5 days, my hope is that you're going to shift from feeling maybe invisible and uncertain to feeling magnetic, confident, and clear in all of the things that you're offering. So put an exclamation mark in the comments if you're excited to feel magnetic, confident, and clear. And I am so excited to give you this recipe. And I just want you to take a moment and, first of all, congratulate yourself for showing up. This is the first step. A lot of times we have the intention of doing something amazing. Maybe we've got a great idea. Maybe we've got this message within that you have got to share. And you know that there's people who want to hear this message, but you're just not sure how to find them. And I know what that feels like because I feel like I was stuck in that for like 6 years. Seriously, like for a long time, until I finally understood that there's a formula, just like making chocolate chip cookies, there's a formula for being online. And I know a lot of people will say, well, you have to be lucky and you have to go viral. And like, there's all these excuses. And the fact of the matter is, the only thing that matters is that we actually follow the recipe and we begin showing up and we allow the process to unfold. Because maybe we're just doing maybe we've just added flour to the recipe, but we haven't added everything else. And we're like, why aren't the cookies being made? And the reason why is because we're missing some of the content. We're missing the eggs and the sugar and the brown sugar and the chocolate chips, and we haven't put it in the oven yet, right? Like, so we might be thinking, well, I dropped this in and I thought I was going to have cookies, but maybe you're just missing some of the ingredients. And so you don't have this delicious, warm chocolate chip cookie coming out of the oven and you're uncertain. And a lot of times we feel like we don't have anything to serve to the people that we want to serve the most. And just like if you weren't able to bake chocolate chip cookies and you had people coming over, you wouldn't have anything to give them. This week, my goal is to give you a recipe that you can follow so that you have something to give to them, so that you have something that can serve them, that can help them to feel cared for. Because I know, like to this day, in fact, I would love to know in the comments if you have some sort of maybe like a cookie that reminds you of something, because I remember going to my grandma Cochran's house every summer and sometimes in the winter as well. And she would make the most amazing chocolate chip oatmeal cinnamon cookies. Like they were my favorite. Do you have anything like that? Put them in the comments. And like to this day, like I can actually kind of taste them in my mouth when I talk about that. And it's because it was from her and it was special. And I can go to Crumble Cookie and get a chocolate oatmeal cinnamon cookie, but it's not going to leave me with the same feeling or the same emotion. And that is actually one of the first mindset shifts that you have to make as a creator. So as we go through this process, we're going to be talking about some of the mindset shifts that I know, Kat, right? Kat's like, I know, now I want some cookies. We're going to be talking about some of the mindset shifts that we have to go through as creators. And just the other day, I was coaching someone. And I could tell that this person really wants to be successful online, but they were having a little bit of trepidation with posting. They're like, yeah, I posted a few times and I got some comments. And in fact, they were going to church and the people at church were like, oh my gosh, I saw like what you posted and I'm so interested in this. And this person was like, yeah, but like, who am I? Who am I to be the person that people actually listen to? And this person follows other creators that are similar to what they are trying to purchase or create. And they were like, why wouldn't they just go to this person? And I want to put this out like right now, we're going to like set this mindset to the side of feeling like, who are you to be doing this? And what I'm hoping to convey to you today is that there are some people out there who are going to resonate with you way more than they're going to resonate with your competitors. They're going to want what you have. They're going to want your story. They're going to want that connection. They're going to want to feel the emotion of knowing that they have somebody who understands them. And yeah, maybe there's other people who create content just like you do. But how many of you have gone out to research something and you don't just watch one creator? Am I right? Like put a 2 in the comments if that's right. If you're like, okay, yeah, Mandy, 100%. When I go and research how to build this IKEA shelf, sometimes I pull up 2 different people. Or maybe when you're trying to figure out how to plant your garden, you watch one person here and then you watch another person there, right? We don't need to worry about being competitive in the sense that we shouldn't be competing with other people. Of course, we want to compete with them, but we shouldn't worry like, I can't compete with them, because it's not really about competition. It's about your voice. It's about your message. It's about what you are passionate about sharing. And that is exactly why I'm glad you're here today. I'm hoping that you're going to make a shift from a content consumer, because that is a content consumer mindset. When you're like, oh, there's so many other people because you're consuming their content, to a content creator that's cashing in on that. Now, it's not all about making money, but of course, if we're going to put money or if we're going to put time into it, we're hoping that we're going to get compensated. And that is okay too. And that's another mindset shift that maybe we'll go over this week as we walk through some of this, because a lot of times our emotions are what are driving our actions. And if you want to take more action, you have to start acknowledging what your emotions are in this process. And they can be a lot of different things. And if you think of something that you're like, yeah, emotionally, I'm feeling this when I'm thinking about creating on YouTube or Instagram or any of these places, if you're feeling like this is a safe space, put it in the comments and I'll address it this week. If not, that's okay. You can actually shoot me an email. So my hope is that after these 5 days, you're going to feel magnetic, confident, clear, and you're going to know who you're speaking to exactly. You're going to know exactly what you're offering. You're going to know how to set up very simple funnels and text. Now, we have a full technology day that's going to be coming. Just realize that at the beginning, you only need a few bare essentials that we're going to build on. In fact, I was coaching one of my private clients in the last couple weeks, and they were really concerned about having the entire process laid out before they started anything. So I like to call this getting ready to get ready. Put an R in the comments if you've ever spent 5 months getting ready to get ready. You're like, okay, I'm going to put all this time and effort in, and we're going to get ready to get ready. And I get that thought of like needing to know the process. And I don't want to diminish that at all, because it is important for us to know the process. But we also have to understand that as creators, that process shifts and changes. And so if we put all of our eggs in the basket of, I have to have a perfect system when we first get started, week one, that system could be shot, because maybe part of that system isn't working. And as creators, one of the things that we have to do is be willing to pivot and shift and understand that maybe something we thought would work doesn't actually work. In fact, I remember running an A/B test for something that we did with one of our clients. And one of the funnels was this beautiful, gorgeous, like very colorful, very inviting funnel. And the other one was literally black and white and very simple with very few words, but the words were powerful. And guess which one was better? And they had been running on the one that was very colorful and extensive for months on end, and they weren't getting the right leads in. When they shifted to this other one, thankfully they were willing to change their process, because what happened was they ended up having massive success with it. So I love all these comments coming in. Thank you so much for being here and for being present and for actually taking action. I think that's so powerful. So congratulations for being here and doing that. So we are going to focus in heavily today on helping you make this shift. And so I'm excited, and I'm glad you're here, and I hope that you're super excited as well. And it's going to be a fun ride this week. Now, like I said, I'm going to be live for 4 days or 5 days. Sorry, I don't know why I said 4. For 5 days, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Mountain Time. And this is going to be, each day is going to build on the next. So if you cannot attend live, please come back to this channel and rewatch the replay. It's going to be found in the live section. And so that you've got videos, you've got shorts, and then you also have lives. And that's where it's going to be found. So if you're like, I can't find it, it's probably because you're looking in the video section instead of the live section. So I want you to make sure that that's where you're going to be looking throughout the entire week. Each week or each day, I'm going to be giving you some sort of download to do as a homework assignment. And this homework assignment is meant to really activate your creative juices and also give you clarity. If you skip them, you might feel a little overwhelmed, like you're not sure exactly what you should be doing. And so please take the time. Every time I design homework for these boot camps, I try and keep it under an hour so that you can go about your day and do your things, but you have a good 12, 18, no, let's see, actually 24 hours before the next one. Sorry, I was trying to do the math. I'm like, wait, we're going live in 24 hours again. So this week it's not about learning how to go viral. And it's not about learning how to have 100,000 followers, because I'm going to be honest with you, I do not have 100,000 followers. I made my first million online when I had roughly under 5,000 followers on my YouTube channel and less than 2,000 people on my email list. And since then, we've grown it. We're almost to 20,000 people on my email list. We're about to hit 11,000 subscribers on one of my channels. And this channel is brand new. Just got it started. And the exciting thing about this is in the last 3 weeks, I've had 2 examples of having a very small channel that is having massive success. And I'm going to tell you about those this week. So if you're thinking, oh, this is not going to work for me because I need something right now, today is the best day for you to get started. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like, just get started. You're going to need a plan And my hope is that this boot camp gives you this plan. And so by the end of the week, you won't just feel like a real business owner. You'll actually be one with a solid plan. If you're brand new to this channel, I guess I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Mandy Summers. I am a believer, a business mentor, a YouTuber. I have 4 amazing children and then 2 daughter-in-laws that I absolutely love. And I am living proof that with vision and faith and a plan, anything is possible. Because if you know me, you know I am not the most organized person. I am not the most organized. I'm not the most strategic, but I am passionate and I am committed. And I help everyday men and women turn their wisdom into wealth and build businesses they believe in and finally show up with online with purpose and not with pressure. That's really my goal. And that's been my shift is I feel like it's easy to fall into that. Like, we got to get this done right now. And my hope is that people can show up online with purpose, but also feel that freedom. In fact, free is my word of the year. And so I'm so excited that you're here and you're going to be watching this. I did not start with a big audience. I did not start with perfect content. I did not start with a background in tech. I started with a little nudge, a little whisper, a little belief that I was made for more. And I want you to put a 4 in the comments if you have had that nudge or a whisper or a belief that has come into your heart that has told you there's more. There's more for you to do. And I came here with a willingness to take messy yet purposeful action. And so I'm hoping this week you can see it does not have to be perfect. Along the way, I've done a lot of stumbling, growing, healing, soaring, falling down, scraping my knees. And as I've come this far, I've helped thousands of men and women do the same through some of our online courses and systems and one-on-one coaching. There's a lot that over the last 5 years has come from this little nudge. And that's what I'm hoping that you see today is it doesn't have to start with something big and grandiose. It has to start with being consistent and showing up with passion. So if you're here, it's not by accident. There's a shift waiting to happen. And I'm here to walk with you as you step into your calling and your confidence and your cash in moment. So let's build something beautiful together this week and help you to see this. Now, I actually started my YouTube channel back in 2012, and I was a triathlon coach. And so I was posting videos on there for my triathletes. And I thought, oh, this will be a great way to connect with them. And it was. But I fell into the trap of feeling like, first of all, I wasn't enough. Who was I to think that I could be teaching this, even though I had a big team of triathletes? And I also fell into the trap of listening to some of those outside voices. So I was posting online and I was actually getting a lot of troll comments, people saying I was fat, I wasn't worthy, I wasn't deserving, like all these things. And it actually shut me down. And I stopped posting until about I posted kind of on and off until about 2019. Now, in 2019, by this point, from 2012 till then, which was 7 years, I had jumped in and out of YouTube. And I had moments where I was like, I really want to do this. And so I would post a video or 2 or 3, and I'd get all excited. And then I would quit. Put a Q in the comments if you've ever done this. And I did this so much that I had 250 videos posted on my YouTube channel in those 7.5 years. But I had never actually learned the recipe for growing a YouTube channel. So in those 7.5 years, I had gone from posting on and off, and then exactly, Chris just said, imposter syndrome is real, and then falling into the imposter syndrome trap, and then shrinking back and stopping, and then having that little voice within say that you're meant for more, you're made for more, and then posting. And in that process, I realized that there had to be a recipe. And so in 2019, I went looking for the recipe of what I needed to do. And I had grabbed like multiple different courses and like people I was learning from until I finally had the full picture, the full recipe in front of me. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Um, Most creators are consuming more than they're creating. And so that's kind of where I want to start with today. And I want to ask you a couple questions. Um, have you ever said to your, or maybe this is something that you've done where you're watching reels and you're saving all the posts? I'm like so guilty of this. You're binging training, but your content is still sitting in draft mode. Anytime I find myself in this, because I'm aware of this, anytime I find myself drafting a bunch of things or saving a bunch of things and not posting, I instantly know I have to take action because I know I'm falling into this trap of my daily reality. My daily habits are actually mirroring my daily reality, and my mind is wanting something different. So if you're wanting a different reality from what is happening on a daily basis, then we can't just save posts and binge trainings. We have to shift that mindset. It's so much easier for us to watch someone else than to risk putting ourselves out there. Have you ever felt that before, where you're like, put a yes in the comments if you're like, yeah, I'm totally watching this person and I'm going to do it one day. But it's so much easier to watch them than to actually put ourselves out there. And maybe we don't even realize we're doing it, because I know for me, there were times when I did not realize I was doing this. But now that I have trained my brain, when I start doing these things, I know, okay, I've got to shift this. Maybe you want to show up and you're feeling that pull to create, but the scroll trap is real. And once again, we get stuck in this comparison, self-doubt. Like, are you ever scrolling and it's like, instead of being inspired, you start getting pulled down more? And suddenly, you realize, okay, tomorrow I'll start. And this is something that I think a lot of creators deal with. And it just because, I have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube doesn't mean that this doesn't creep up in my life. And that's why I'm wanting to call it out for you today, because there's different ways that we can get sucked down. Like, one of them is just not like thinking we're doing something. We're watching content, we're saving posts, but then we're drafting everything. The other one would be this next thing, which is where we get stuck in an emotional cycle. So first one is, let's kind of summarize this. Does your reality mirror your daily reality? Like, it is the reality that you're wanting to create mirror your daily reality? And if the answer is no, that's probably because you're saving your posts and you're not, you're content binging and things like that, thinking that you're getting ready to get ready. The next is, you need to name the emotional cycle. So if you're scrolling and you're starting to feel down, 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 you're getting stuck in an emotional cycle, and we have to call that out and shift it. The third one would be that you beat yourself up. So this one is speaking to the guilt. Okay. Like, you beat yourself up for not posting. Like, has anybody done this? Put a B in the comments if you've done this. You beat yourself up for wasting time. And then you start thinking, I must be lazy. There must be something wrong with me. And the problem is not that you're lazy. The problem is that you don't have clarity, structure, and confidence to move from consuming to creating. And that's why I'm happy you're here this week. I'm hoping that you can get a clarity map that will help you not only with mapping it out, but also with how to speak to your ideal client. And once again, the recipe isn't just about mapping it out. There's like deeper parts of that recipe. And then the fourth one would be, validating good intentions. So you've been gathering a lot of inspiration. You're gathering a lot of learning. You're studying what works. That's not a failure. That's preparation. You're not behind, you're right on time. Sometimes like we shift some of our mindset to be like, okay, like it's okay because I've been doing A, B, C, and D. And really what we need to be doing is having this clear map and taking action and understanding that it's going to take us some time to make this system work. But without the action, it's like showing up to basketball practice or to a basketball game being like, I didn't need to practice. Like, and I was a basketball coach for a long time. And when we coach teams, we want them playing every single day something. We want them dribbling. We want them shooting. We want them doing something every day because when the time comes that it's time to play a game, if they haven't done that, like we can't expect greatness. And it's the same thing with our online social media. Even if we're unsure about ourselves, we still need to be posting and practicing and seeing, okay, is this something that I can do? And how can I tweak it and make it better? How can I change my shot? How can I dribble better? Like all of these things. And so we have to be showing up consistently. But sometimes we're like, oh, it's okay because I made a ton of shots in the last game and I've been prepping and, I don't need to practice today because I did some practice before. So it's like we're validating the good intentions. We're like, oh, we've kind of done stuff. And so we're good. Number 5 would be that we don't call out what actually needs to happen. It's like we know it in our head, but we haven't actually said out loud what we're trying to do. And that's one reason why I'm glad you're here today, because in today's homework, you're going to have to plan this out and call it out. You have to call out what's coming. You have to have that vision. Because what I have found is sometimes what we sit here and we think of is we're like, oh, I want to be this, like, I want to be an influencer and I want to create this thing, this pie in the sky, but we can't actually see it because we don't know what it is. And so we don't really make a plan because we haven't seen it. And so I want you to make a plan and a vision, and it can shift. In fact, just this last week, I adjusted my 6-month ideal life vision because I realized that the life vision that I had was great. But in the last 6 months, I've shifted some things and I was like, oh, I got to add some things in there. And so, but having that vision actually brought me to where I was. Even though I hadn't fully achieved the goal I was working towards, it's like I needed to add to it. Okay. So, I actually, when I teach, I'm always trying to do something new. I was like the feedback. So, because if this is something that was helpful for you or I identify things, will you put a 3 in the comments? If you're like, yeah, we could have skipped this part, will you put a 7? Like, I love the feedback of knowing, was this valuable? And was it helpful? And if not, put a 7, because I will cut it out next time. I promise. Because we're still like trying to work out the things with this. And I just want to say, you're not lazy or behind. You just haven't had a path until now. And so now is the time that we're going to get serious about this. So let's talk about the creator identity shift that I want you to make this week. We are going to we're going to talk about different types of kind of creators or personalities that we might be living in. So one would be the creator consumer, one would be the creator or the content creator, and one would be the monetized creator. And I want you to see a difference between the two. I have lived in all of these, and there's a progression that happens through this. And I actually do have, here it is. I have slides that, let's shift it to here. So let's go through and do some of these slides. In fact, where did I put my slide deck? That's going to be important to find so I can like go through this. Found it. Okay, perfect. So let's first talk about the content consumer. And I want to highlight a few of the things that are going on in the content consumer's life. What they do, they scroll, they do a lot of watching, they do a lot of saving, but they rarely post on their own. They're just, like I said, consuming. And what they're feeling is overwhelmed, stuck, and unsure how to start, and how they're monetized that they aren't. They don't monetize. What's holding them back is a lack of clarity, confidence, or systems. And their key trait is they're a passive consumer. And so I'm hoping that you're getting some clarity. If you're in the content consumer realm, if you're feeling like, okay, this is where I'm stuck, then congratulations for being here, because this week I'm hoping to help you make a shift. So the next one would be a content creator. Now, this is great. This is like, I want you to be progressing towards monetized creator. But if this is where you need to go next, this is what a content creator is spending their time doing. This, what they do is they regularly share original content, videos, blogs, reels, etc. They are feeling proud and excited about creativity, but not always earning. How are they monetized? They sometimes via an ad revenue or affiliate links or small brand deals. What's holding them back? Really, it's the strategy. They're kind of in this learning mode where they haven't mapped out the strategy for monetization, and they have no strategy or monetization funnels. They rely solely on the algorithm, like the content that's being sent to them. And the key trait is they're an active creator without a lot of direction. Okay, before I jump into the next one, put an 8 in the comments if you have felt like you have ever been in the content consumer realm or the content creator realm. If either of those you're like, yeah, I can see myself in those areas. And while we're doing that, let's talk about the monetized creator. The monetized creator, what they do, they create strategic content with clear offers and funnels and audience building tactics. So it's not just about posting. It's like you have a specific reason for doing each thing and it leads to the next. And you always know that you're leading to something. What they feel confident, they feel valued, they feel purposeful with each post. And how they monetize with brand deals, with affiliate incomes, with courses and coaching, with memberships and funnels. What holds them back? Often nothing. They have systems and mindset that drives the results. And I'll tell you, because I've lived in the content creator and monetized creator space for the last 5 years. And sometimes I slip back into the content creator space. And the thing that pulls me back is usually my mindset. It's usually like I allow a mindset to shift. And that's why it's so important that we're calling out like where we're struggling, what our mindset shift needs to be, and how we can make that even better. Like how we can quickly adjust it. And I'll give you some things that we can do for that. And let's go back. Okay, here we are. Sorry. I clicked out to. So, and then the key strength or key trait is that you're a strategic business owner and you're a leader, and you've accepted that, and you're willing to take the risks. And the risks in being a content creator often is putting yourself out there. You're willing to do that and to feel that uncomfortableness. And so it can be challenging. How many of you want to be a monetized creator? Put an MC below. If that's your goal for this week, is to learn how to truly become a monetized creator. Because that's what I'm hoping to help you through this week. So now that you can kind of see the difference between these 3 different creator people, where it's like you're stuck, you're starting, and you're thriving, then you can begin to see that there are a few key things that have to happen if you want to become a monetized creator. We have to shift our framework. We have to shift our framework, and we have to begin first with our mindset and really believing that we're worthy of being paid, that we're worthy of creating content that brings in the right type of people, and that our message is good enough. And if we have that mindset, if we're able to really solidify that mindset, then everything else is going to be so much easier. Like I said, if I ever shift from the monetized creator down to the content creator, it's always because of mindset. So I'm curious in the comments below, And I definitely need everybody to vote on this one because this will kind of tell us which way we should go in this class. How many of you feel like you need support in the mindset area? If that's you, put a 4. How many of you feel like you're good with mindset and you're like, Mandy, I've been to a lot of your classes. I know. Put a 5 in the comments if you're like, we can skip mindset this week. We get it. We know what we need to be doing and go from there. And the only reason why I ask is because I will add in more mindset, some of my mindset techniques that I use throughout the week. If that's something that you're like, yes, for sure. The number one thing that I know that you need to be doing is setting your vision and having affirmations that go with that every single day. So if that's like, that will be the one mindset thing that I share with you. Set your vision and move forward with those affirmations on a consistent basis. Okay. The next thing is number 2 in this, and to shift your framework, is to know your people, to know who you're talking to, and not just who, but how to talk to them. And we're going to begin covering this tomorrow. This is going to be huge for you. A lot of times it's a little bit less than we'll do like the ideal client stuff, and I have a great ideal client worksheet that you can work through. But then we don't get clear on the call to actions. And that's part of the plan. And I'm going to give you a download today for your homework. It's called the Monetization Creator Checklist. And it actually has 9 or 10 things on there that you need to check off for your homework today so that you know where you're at. And what I want you to do is when you check that off, I want you to I want you to tag me on my social media. And our social media is the Summer School on Instagram. I would love for you to take a picture of you with the spreadsheet or the worksheet, and then post that you did all the homework. So I'll put a link in the description or in the comments below that links directly to our Instagram, but it's the Summer School and it's SOMMERS. And hopefully you can jump on, tag me in that so I can cheer you on. So we have to understand what our message is. And that can get a little unclear because maybe we feel like we've got lots of messages. Maybe we're like, oh, I want to talk about 3 different things. And how do I know what to do first? And what I have found works best for me is I'm going to choose the thing that I'm most passionate about, that's easiest for me to talk about. And I'm going to go all in on that. I'm not going to jump around to 5 different topics. I'm going to go all in on the one topic and go from there. So I'm going to give you 2 examples of in the last 2 months how this has worked. The first one is one of my private client students. This was actually from this morning. I was so excited. I was so proud of this girl. So when you private coach with me, I do 12 weeks, and the first 4 weeks are really about getting your system in place for posting and then for following up with email. And then the second is really building out a program or something. And then the third is launching that program. So there's 3 months worth of things. And so during this time, she has been 100% following the posting schedule that I recommend. And the first couple, and here's the thing, it's so easy to get disconnected and think, oh, it's not working. She's been posting now for almost 3 months straight, long form and short form, and doing a couple lives here and there. And she doesn't even have 100 subscribers yet. Now, you tell me in the comments, put 100 in there if you're like, I would definitely feel down if that was me. But thankfully, this lady has an amazing mindset. She wasn't worried about everything being perfect. She was just like, I'm going to build this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to keep doing this. And every week when we meet, we kind of go through her posts and we really evaluate like what's happening in your posts and what are the analytics. And about 2 months in, we started seeing that her posts started getting way more views. Well, this morning we logged in and she has her big launch coming up, and she had been doing these posts for the last 2.5, 3 months. And the last 2 weeks, things have really started picking up for her. It's like YouTube knows where to send her. And we logged in, we were looking at her analytics. I'm like, gosh, you're getting a lot more views than you were before. And then we logged in and checked her CRM. And I was like, you have 20 new leads. Okay, she has 93 subscribers right now on YouTube. She's getting about 27 a month, which is really good for a brand new channel, that is starting to grow, and she's really just getting her feet under her. But with under 100 subscribers, she got 20 brand new leads in 1 week from posting consistently. And finally, her content is getting like 10 times the amount of views that it was 2 or 3 months ago. Had she taken that first month and been like, I'm getting 10 views, I'm getting 20 views, I'm getting 50 views on each one of my reels or shorts, she would have given up, and she would have given up 20 of those leads. And these are like, so then we went in and we started seeing they're opting in to her webinar, and they're going in and reading her emails because we can see if they're being read. And so not only are they consuming her content, but they're opting in and they're reading. And that just ups the like, if you want to monetize, this is exactly what you have to do. And so I was so excited this morning when I saw that. I was like, it's working. And we were celebrating. It was so fun. Because if you can get 20 leads, you can get 2,000 leads, you can get 20,000 leads. And at that point, you can do anything you want to do. It's going to be amazing for her. So that's example number one. Example number two is actually one that I personally had happen to me. So I started this summer school YouTube channel almost 2 months ago, probably about a month and a half ago. And I know when you want to grow something, you have to go all in on a topic. So mine is marketing, and mine is marketing for small business owners who want to be online. And so I went through and I did 17 videos in the first month, and I haven't counted to see how many I've done in the second month. It hasn't been as many, but hopefully I'll end with at least 17 for this next month, because I've got a lot of things planned. I did one live. I did, I think, 2 or 3 shorts, and the rest were pre-recorded that I just started uploading consistently. I followed the recipe where I found good keywords. I didn't always get them all in at the beginning when I posted, but I posted, and then I would go back and I would make sure they're in the tags. I would save the file as the right keywords. And I have a video on YouTube that you can watch. And I'll post it in the comments below so you can see exactly what this is, what I did. And I walk through exactly what I do in this process. I also have a keywords video. And after about 32 days, I received an email from a company. And the company was like, hey, we really like what you're doing, and we would like to talk to you about doing a brand deal. And this was with 132 subscribers. That's it. 132 subscribers. And so I sent them my rate sheet, and in fact, put an R in the comments if you're like, I would really like to know about rate sheets. If you want to learn how to do that, then I could create a video on that. I sent them my rate sheet, scheduled an appointment with them, got on the call with them. Within 5 minutes, we had decided on a deal. And this channel, in the first, I think it was 32 days of me posting with 17 videos, is making $100,000 in the next 12 months based off of the brand deal and some of the affiliate links that I set up in day one. Now like, my hope is that it's going to get more to like 200 to 300, maybe 400,000 in this first year. But in that first 32 days with 132 subscribers, we were able to solidify a brand deal for 12 months that's paying every single month for a specific amount of videos, because they saw that I knew who my customer was, and they want to be a part of that. And I also, based off of some affiliate commissions and things like that. So I just want you to know that if you like, I want to share those two things, not to like brag and be like, look at what I did, but more for you to see that when you follow a system, things happen. In order for things to happen in your business, you have to take action, and you need to take clear action. So this week, that's what it's going to be about. This week, it's clarity. And I saw one of our commenters said, I don't know, or I need help with my vision. So I will do something tomorrow all about vision. I'll do a very short thing on vision. But what I want you to start thinking tonight is, what do you want? Like, why, like, what's driving you to want to post? And maybe put it in the comments. Like, why do you want a YouTube channel? Do you want a YouTube channel just to share your voice? Or do you want a YouTube channel so that you can get to a point where you're creating an income of, you've got a six-figure income off of a YouTube channel? Like, or are you wanting to give back? Like, what is it that's driving you to do this? And if we know where we want to go with it, then it's so much easier to show up and create the content. It usually, when I am unclear about where I want to go, that's when I have a really hard time posting. When I'm feeling shut down, when I'm feeling like my voice is trapped, like I can't get that out, that's when I have a hard time posting. And so I love it. Okay, so we've got somebody who said, I want to get to a point where I'm creating income. It is so hard to get out there in person. It's so true. And here's the beautiful thing about being online, and thank you for being vulnerable and writing that, is you have access to billions of people online. Billions of people. And it's super fun in person to be around people, but a lot of times our in-person reach is like a couple thousand, versus online, you can be in front of hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of people. In fact, my YouTube channel, my original Mandy Summers YouTube channel, that channel has over 1.6 million views on it. Like, how, like, I would have never been able to do that had I not had a YouTube channel. And then, okay, so I love this other thing. My issue is I'm not very creative, so I have had a hard time. That actually doesn't have to be a negative. That can actually be a positive. That can be a strength. Because if you're not super creative, maybe you're better at being strategic. And so then the question becomes, what is it that you want to be posting about? And let's just make a plan. Take it into Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT, what could I be posting about based off of this? I'm very passionate about this. And so, um, don't think of it as a weakness. Think, how can I use this as a strength? It doesn't have to be super creative. In fact, right now, the algorithm is preferring. It used to be that, like, you'd had to have a ton of B-roll and you had to have a bunch of cuts and keep it, like, moving back and forth. And now what the algorithm is wanting is real. It's raw. It's like, show up and show yourself. And so in this channel, I've actually started doing these walks with Mandy, where it's like motivation with Mandy. And I'm literally walking on my walk that I do each day, and I'm talking and I'm just sharing. And so, thanks for being vulnerable and writing that. Let's see. We've got more. I'm inspired by how far we can influence online. It's so true. And if we understood that, like, can you imagine if I had put off starting my channel? And I mean, thankfully, this second channel that I started monetized way faster than the first one, because I know what I'm doing, right? I know that I need to pick a topic. I need to lean in. I need to make sure I'm clear in the things I'm teaching and just show that I'm good on camera, things like that. But beyond that, there's so many people that you can reach. And so, and then the next one, I want to create income. And I need a plan. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here. And that's what your homework is going to be for tonight. I'm going to give you the 9-step monetization map, creator map that you can go through. And in fact, I've got some of it right here. So I'm going to walk you through just a little bit of it before we jump off. I swear I could talk forever, but we're almost done with our hour. So the first thing that we're going to focus in on tonight is a clear offer. And I want you to start thinking, okay, what could you offer the people that you're serving? And or what do you want to offer the people that you're serving? What could that be? The next thing that I want to make sure that you have is a simple link in your bio. In fact, I have an acupuncturist who messaged me last week and was like, "Hey, can I work with you? He's local here in our area. He's like, I need some more leads." And so, of course, I was like, "Okay, so tell me a little bit about, like, what you're doing already." And so he's running ads with another marketing company, but he's like, it's not getting as many leads as I wanted. And so he's shopping for a new marketing agency. And so I was like, okay, send me all your links. I want your Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook, your TikTok, all of these things. And the first thing I noticed was nowhere in his profiles there was no way to like click on a link to like find out more about him. So he's like doing these amazing posts, but like it's not being driven anywhere. So this is like the simplest thing to fix. You need to drive them somewhere. Where can you drive them? And then the next thing is a lead magnet. We're going to talk about some of these throughout the week. Tonight, your homework is to really go through, and I just want you to start visualizing what could you give and what could you do in each one of these. Like, do you want to lead to a website, or I actually lead to my download? And so I need to know, like, when you're sharing a simple link in the bio, are you leading to a website? Are you leading to book an appointment? Are you leading to a link tree that's got like a number of links? Like, where do you want to link? Do you want to link to your Amazon storefront? And that's something for each business is a little different based on what you're wanting to create. Maybe you link to your YouTube channel. I would highly suggest linking somewhere where you could gather information from them and in exchange for something that you're giving them, like a lead magnet. And then I want you to start thinking about an email capture system. If you are like me, I was like, I don't need an email list. I wish I would have started one so much sooner. And like this morning is the perfect example. I have this cute client who just started on YouTube, and if she can get 20 leads in 1 week from a few short videos, imagine if she continues to lean in. So we go in and we're like, okay, where did these come from? We need to make more videos like that. We need to like lean into that. And if we can lean into that, she can get more. And then this week, we're going to talk about a consistent content plan. Your homework for tonight is not necessarily to map that plan out perfectly, but I want you to think about like how much time do you have per week to do this? Because this can't be something where this is all you do is like content create. This has to be something where beyond the content creation, you're able to do some of you need to be able to email your people on a weekly basis. You need to be able to follow up and like enroll people into your program. So it can't just be 100% consistent content. And so you have to create a plan for that. How are you going to create the consistent content? What is that consistent content going to be? So today, as you go through the checklist, I want you to start thinking like, how can you fit all? I want you to see the full map. Like, how can you get all of this information and not be overwhelmed by one thing or the other? And it can be overwhelming. Believe me, I know, because I've been there. I've done that. I know exactly how that feels. I'm going to put in the link in the comments to download this guide. And I'm just going to warn you, if you're watching live right now, thank you so much for being live. I love seeing so many people here and so many people commenting. You're going to register to get the homework, and it will probably take about 20 minutes for it to show up in your inbox because I set it all up. I set the funnel up and I have the download. I just didn't put the download in the funnel. So as soon as I go off live, I'm actually going to put the download in the funnel. And you will have, it's a 9-point checklist that I want you to go through. I want you to acknowledge, okay, what is feeling overwhelming? What is feeling doable? Where are the holes? Like the very first thing to do if we want to monetize our system is we have to identify where are the holes? What are we lacking? Like, and what do we need to fix? Because if we're just ignoring all the things, then we're ignoring the leak that's going to flood the house. You know what I mean? So today, my hope is that you have begun making this shift in your mind from a content consumer to a monetized creator where you're able to cash in. This is going to require that you get a clear vision, that you understand that you need to lead your people somewhere. What is that going to look like? And we're going to go way more into depth in this for the entire week. I wanted to give you kind of like the overview picture, which is exactly what I'm asking you to do today for homework, so that now throughout the rest of the week, you're going to get clear-cut action plans for each one of these. So don't forget to download the download. It's at summerschool.com, and Summers is SOMMERS. SCHOOL.com. And then it's actually / monetized creator checklist. And so you can find that in the comments. I'll also put it in the description as soon as I get off here. Download that 9 checkpoint. And then my hope is that you're going to come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's just add this in. Let's see here. What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're actually talking ideal client. We've got a number of things. There it is. I'm like, where did it go? So tomorrow is the number one reason your socials aren't converting. And then we're going to go into turn your scrolls into sales on Wednesday. And then tech isn't the problem. Let's set your system, and then monetize like a pro on Friday. So I hope that you're going to be able to be here the entire week. Okay. That's a wrap for today. Put a 10 in the comments if you're like, okay, this is good. This is a good starting point. Put a 9 if you're like, Mandy, I need more. And more is coming this week. I promise it's going to be here. And I'm so excited that you're here with us. And I hope that you're going to get massive value, and you're going to feel like these 5 hours this week are going to be well worth your time. All right. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you tomorrow. If you found value in this video, please hit that thumbs up so that YouTube knows this is good and they can push it out to the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button so you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.